Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture of the course Digital Signal Processing. In the previous lecture, we have introduced the concept of sampling of a continuous time signal in order to obtain the discrete time signal. So we had considered x of t as our continuous time signal, which is given something like this. Then in order to sample it, that is, in order to obtain this sampled signal, we consider a train of impulse which is given as p of t equal to summation n running from minus infinity to infinity del of t minus nts, which has the waveform something like this. And in order to obtain the sampled signal, we simply multiply this continuous time signal with the train of impulse, and the result that we obtain is given as summation n running from minus infinity to infinity x of nts del of t minus nts, which is something like this. So we had observed that every impulse that is located at say nts location has now picked the value of x of t at that location. So this impulse has an area of x of nts. So now all this analysis was in the time domain. Now let us try to understand what exactly happens in the frequency domain. So in this lecture we are going to consider the frequency domain interpretations. Now we know that we have the continuous time signal say x of t, then its frequency domain interpretation is given by x of omega, where this x of omega is the continuous time Fourier transform. So it can be just abbreviated as CTFT. So this x of t has the Fourier transform as x of omega, and this x of omega can be obtained using the formula x of omega is equal to integral from minus infinity to infinity x of t into e to the power minus j omega t dt. So this is the formula for the continuous time Fourier transform. So now in order to analyze the sampled signals frequency analysis, so we need to consider the Fourier transform of this xp of t. So we need to find what is CTFT of xp of t. So let it be denoted by say capital xp of omega. So this xp of t, let it have the CTFT as xp of omega, and we know that this x of t, this xp of t is simply multiplication of x of t and the train of impulse, that is p of t. So now if we take the Fourier transform on LHS as well as RHS, so here we would be having it as xp of omega, whereas on the RHS using the time multiplication property, so using time multiplication property of continuous time Fourier transform, the multiplication in the time domain results in convolution in the frequency domain, but with a scaling factor of 1 over 2 pi. So the Fourier transform here would be given as 1 upon 2 pi into x of omega convolved with p of omega, where this P of omega is the Fourier transform of P of t. So what we are considering is x of t has CTFT as x of omega, and this P of t has the Fourier transform as P of omega. So now in order to find the Fourier transform, that is xp of omega, we just need to find what is x of omega and P of omega and convolve them and scale them by a factor of 1 upon 2 pi. So first let us look at what is this x of omega. So the first thing that we are going to look is what is x of omega. So for that we are going to assume this x of t is a band limited signal and the maximum frequency is omega m. So what we are considering is something like this. So suppose this is the omega axis that we have. The Fourier transform of this x of t is considered something like this. So this is what we have as x of omega. This is omega axis and the maximum frequency is omega m. So we have omega m here and minus omega m here. So this is the Fourier transform of the continuous time signal, that is x of t. So we are going to consider this general Fourier transform in order to find the Fourier transform of this xp of t, that is sampled version. So now let us look at what is this P of omega. So the next thing that we need to find is what is P of omega. Now this P of omega is basically the Fourier transform of this train of impulse, that is P of t. So this P of omega is the Fourier transform of this train of impulse, that is P of t, and we mathematically define this P of t as summation n running from minus infinity to infinity del of t minus nts. Now if we observe this equation carefully, this is basically a periodic signal. So if we observe it graphically also here, so we observe that this impulse is repeating after every ts duration. So this P of t is basically a periodic signal and the period of this signal is ts. Therefore this P of t is periodic signal and period is ts, that is the sampling duration. So this train of impulse is periodic with a period equal to the sampling duration, that is ts. And we know that if we have a periodic signal, then in order to find the Fourier transform, we first need to know what are the Fourier series coefficients. And once we know the Fourier series coefficients, we can easily find the value of this P of omega. So in order to have the value of this P of omega, the step 1 is to find the Fourier series coefficients. So the step 1 is find Fourier series coefficients that is AK for P of t. And these AKs are given as 1 upon period, that is 1 by Ts, integration over the range that of the period, that is integral over period, then P of t into e to the power minus j t into k omega naught dt. Now this omega naught is given as 2 pi by Ts, which is the fundamental frequency, so we are just going to represent it by omega s. So this is the sampling frequency, or we can say it as angular sampling frequency. So now we have this AK as 1 by Ts. So let us consider the period as minus Ts by 2 to Ts by 2, and if we observe it, so in this period of minus Ts by 2 to Ts by 2, this P of t has a value of del of t, that is the unit impulse located at t equal to 0. So what we have is del of t into e to the power minus j k omega s t dt. Now again, using the shifting property, this t would be taking the value as 0 because this impulse is located at 0. So what we have is AK is equal to 1 by Ts integral from minus Ts by 2 to Ts by 2 del of t into e to the power 0 dt, which is equal to 1 by Ts integral from minus Ts by 2 to Ts by 2 del of t dt, and this integral here results in 1 because the area under the curve for this del of t is equal to 1, so we have it as 1 by Ts into 1. So therefore the Fourier series coefficients, that is AK, that we obtain has a value of 1 by Ts. Now once we have the Fourier series coefficients, the next step is to find the Fourier transform using these Fourier series coefficients. So the step 2 is finding P of omega using AK, that is Fourier series coefficients, and this can be done using the formula P of omega is equal to summation k running from minus infinity to infinity 2 pi AK into the impulses that are located at every integer multiple of the fundamental frequency, or k times omega s. Now we know that the value of AK we have obtained as 1 by Ts. So therefore we can just substitute this AKs as 1 by Ts, and moreover this 2 pi and 1 by Ts would be a constant with respect to this summation. Therefore we have P of omega is equal to 2 pi by Ts into summation k running from minus infinity to infinity AK. So we have substituted this AK, so it is summation del of omega minus k times omega s. So this is the Fourier transform for the train of impulse, and we had seen that the Fourier transform of the sample version is convolution of x of omega and p of omega and scaled by 2 pi. So now we are going to find the Fourier transform, that is xp of omega, which is given as 1 upon 2 pi x of omega convolved with p of omega. So now what we have is 1 upon 2 pi as it is. Inside the bracket it is x of omega and convolved with 2 pi by ts. So if we observe here, we have a 2 pi by ts into summation k running from minus infinity to infinity del of omega minus k times omega s. So it is summation k running from minus infinity to infinity del of t omega minus k times omega s. So now again this factor will get cancelled here, and this 1 by ts is constant. Moreover, this x of omega is constant with respect to this k, so we can just shift it inside. So what we have is 1 by ts summation k running from minus infinity to infinity x of omega convolved with del of omega minus k times omega s. So what we have is xp of omega is equal to 1 by ts summation k running from minus infinity to infinity x of omega convolved with del of omega minus k times omega s. So now if we observe this factor inside the summation, so if we observe this factor, so we are convolving this x of omega with an impulse. So what the result that we are going to get here would be this x of omega shifted at the position where this impulse is located. So this convolution would be resulting in x of omega minus k times omega s. So therefore this xp of omega is given as 1 by ts summation k running from minus infinity to infinity x of omega minus k times omega s. So this x of omega minus k times omega s is basically shifted version of x of omega, which is centered at kts. So it is shifted by k times omega s, and moreover we are having a scaling of 1 by ts here. So it is also scaled by 1 by ts, and we are having this k ranging from minus infinity to infinity, which means that at every integer multiple of omega s, that is the sampling frequency, we are going to have this x of omega replica. So what we are having is, at the end we are getting replicas of x of omega at every integer multiple of the sampling frequency or of omega s. And moreover we are having some scaling of 1 by ts. So now let us try to visualize it graphically. So this is x of omega, so let us just consider its magnitude or its value of at omega equal to 0 to be 1, just for simplicity. So this is our x of omega with maximum frequency as omega n. Now this p of omega is basically the Fourier transform of the train of impulse, and we saw that the Fourier transform is given by this formula here, that is 2 pi by ts summation k running from minus infinity to infinity del of omega minus k times omega s. So basically these are the impulses located at every integer multiple of omega s with an area of 2 pi by Ts. So all these impulses have an area of 2 pi by Ts. And this continues for all the values. And this xp of omega is convolution of this x of omega and p of omega and scaled by 1 by 2 pi. So this is what we obtain as the Fourier transform of the sampled version, that is xp of t, and we observe that this x of omega is scaled by 1 by Ts and replicated at every integer multiple of the sampling frequency. So it is located at omega s, it is located at minus omega s, it would be located at 2 times omega s, 3 times omega s, and so on, and similarly at minus 2 omega s, minus 3 omega s, and so on. So therefore, when we are sampling in the time domain, we are getting replicas in the frequency domain. So in this lecture, we looked at the frequency domain representation for the sampled signal, and we observed that the sampled signal's Fourier transform is obtained as xp of omega is equal to 1 by Ts summation k running from minus infinity to infinity x of omega minus k times omega s, and we observe that they are basically the replicas of this x of omega located at every integer multiple of the sampling frequency, that is omega s, moreover scaled by a factor of 1 by Ts. So let's stop here. Thank you.